All right. I forgot that YouTube is different. I've just been sitting here talking with myself for the last 5 minutes on YouTube. Twitch should be good to go. Um, Forgot on YouTube you have to hit go live whenever you schedule a stream, and I forgot to hit the go live part, so I've just been sitting here chatting with myself. So once again, since I didn't hit go live for the YouTube stream, welcome everyone. Happy Fellowship release day. This might be loud as hell. Let me turn this down just in case. I was gonna skip it. Um, let's see if the servers are actually up. Oh, they are. And it's not as big a queue as I thought it was gonna be. It's gonna be kind of loud. It feels good to finally see all 9 characters here on a live server. Let's see if they got the traveling to Stronghold issues sorted out. Oh my god, this is so amazing. Yes. Like some of this stuff is... It looks like some of this stuff might be carrying over from betas. I can't tell. No, this is all fresh. I want to set up my UI real quick. Let's see. What did I do before? I think this is the part that sucks is you kind of have to like set it up from scratch. So we make this a little bit bigger, make the energy a little bit bigger. There. Da, 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 da. Hello, Rizumu. Oh, I just realized that my... Hang on one second. I gotta fix something. It's not picking up my Twitch chat. Or my YouTube chat. What's going on here? Um... Platforms. Okay. Now it should be good. Yep, I can definitely share the UI link when I'm done here. So take the buffs, and I think I had those down here. I think I need to move everything actually. The anchoring is so... This is one thing I want them to change about this game is how it's anchored. Oh, is the delay really bad? It shouldn't have... It shouldn't have any delay, I thought. Yeah, I don't... Huh. I don't have any delay added, so it might just be me being slow. I'm not sure. YouTube is definitely a little strange. A little bit bigger. Well, I hope that we can make that a little bit of a smoother experience. So I'll try to work on that over time here. Let's see. So save that for a second. Where is ability bars? Enable that. 4 and 2. Whoops. No. 8 and 2. Second, let me see how that's looking. All right. Da, 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 da. I think I can hide this just until we get more stuff. And actually make that a little bit more relevant later on. Just need to fill it out later with things like uh, Maiden. Actually, I can't enable it. And then I think that's fine there. Trying to remember what I did exactly. Where did my debuff bar go? And now you get the drops as well. There you go. Party frames. Buff placement is on top. Hopefully that places it where I would hope it goes. Before it was showing up on the right, and I did not like that. I got it mixed up. Uh, do a Widow's Bite. Do our stealth. And I think that's kind of it for now. One's kick. Or no, this one is shadow step, kick. All right, and then I think everything else we just kind of wait for our other abilities to fill it out. Oh man, I did not think this quick play was going to be quite as long. I guess we got too many DPS players. Man, we're in a 3.5 minute queue. I did not expect this for quick play. Oh wait. I just realized I need to swap the buff placement. So we put these here. Drop the width slightly on the energy. That right in the middle. Take the combo points. I need to scale that back one. I wish there was like a snapping feature. Oh, I didn't get to save that. How is it on Twitch? Is it still a little laggy or anything? Any delay? Oh yeah, I definitely need to move this. Oh. Oh god, my UI is atrocious right now. Which is fine. Okay, good to know. Thanks. Hime, are you gonna be playing Mara exclusively, or do you have any other characters that you're interested in trying out? I'm getting spirit procs crazy right now. Mara's gonna be the main. I think I'm gonna do Mara, and then if I get to a point where I want to see something a little bit more, I don't know, to see a different perspective, I'm probably gonna go Ardeos or Helena, I think. Drop should be enabled, so you should be good to go. You can adjust the energy bar and the combo point sizes. So I'm still working on my UI. This cue popped while I was in the middle of editing my UI, but yeah, you can adjust the sizes now, which is very, very nice compared to what we had. Yeah, it'll definitely be linked. I just need to actually get it finalized. I hate these things. swap out this pole at this stage. I mean, it should be fine, but I don't got any kicks. Nice. Oh my god, I can't. Mara is so rough early on until you get to 3 talent points. You just have no energy. The stat priority is gonna be crit is the equivalent to expertise, and then after that you want haste until about 10%. And then after that, spirit. If you get the cloak though, the legendary cloak, then spirit gains a little bit more utility, and you want to get spirit until about 15%, I think. That becomes your third stat priority. But yeah, for the most part, crit and expertise, they're pretty good. They're the equivalent to each other. Oh, they even added a blood splatter too. I didn't realize that. The legendary boots are gonna be the best in slot. At least as of right now. The legendary cloak did get a buff, so it might be better. And the legendary boots got a slight nerf. So I think what we will probably end up seeing is just equip whatever you get. My first thought is that with these nerfs, boots are still going to be better, but the cloak, you're not going to feel as bad about getting the cloak. There is a legendary neck, which is not as good. It just is a little bit more utility. But it's, yeah, the neck is not that great right now. Why can I grab this? Oh, what the heck? Has unsaved changes? Interesting. I can see the energy bar here and stuff, but I can't interact with it. Okay. Like that. Wait, no, it's combo points. Dude, this... Alright, this is making me a little upset. It's not saving what I'm trying to save. Scale the width down 1. Combo points go up here. Okay, how does that look? Alright, that is better. What does it look like if I target someone? That looks better. Why are there 2 unit frames? What the? All right, so buffs are gonna go here. Debuffs. Um, Wait. Can you not change? I thought you could change how these grow. Oh, okay. Well, I guess debuffs don't have a growth. I thought they did. All right. Oh, I need to adjust that. Okay, that looks a little bit better. It still kind of cuts into the thing though. So we got one quick play done. About 5 more to go. Oh, hmm. Hmm. Hughes must be bugging a little bit. There it goes. Nope, just kidding. Let me try swapping a hero and see if that does anything. Okay. Nope. Are you guys getting this issue where you can't queue? Every time I enter quick play, it's not quite letting me join. Hmm. Maybe this time. Otherwise, we're gonna have to just jump into contender. All right, let's see if contender does it. Maybe. Oh, yep. I was just about to say I'm lagging out. All right. No. Chat, we're struggling. Yeah, I'm also getting DCs right now. At least we got one dungeon complete. This is a long. Oh no, I was just about to say this is the longest we've been in queue, but let's not jinx it. Try and check some of the if there's any announcements or anything. There is not in-game voice as far as I'm aware. Yeah, there is not in-game voice. Yeah, it seems like we're gonna have to do some quick maintenance. Hmm. I'm waiting to see like some sort of announcement or something about servers in the Discord. Yeah, there's not even. Oh, I guess there's one person here. There's a couple people in this shard. I do have. I think. I think I have most of the UI in place. I just need to see the debuffs and stuff. I don't know where to put these right now. These timers. Move those a little bit more central. I could have swore that the debuffs you could have those grow up and down. I don't know if this game will have similar issues. I can tell you from past experiences, yes, it will have somewhat similar problems. Um, but starting out in the earlier stages of the game, there weren't too many problems with DPS queues, at least in the early contender leagues. Like if you were queuing in contender, I know right now it says that there's an overpopulated queue, but usually in the lower league, DPS was fine. It's once you get into adept where like high adept is where you start to run into a bottleneck where you don't have enough healers. Healers tend to become the main bottleneck in this game, not tanks. Let me try quitting the game and see if that helps. Yeah, if you're a healer, you're not gonna have any problems finding queues in this game, especially later on. If this is still gonna be buggy, I think what I'll do is while just trying to find a match or like queues and stuff, um, if it's still being a little buggy, I think what I'll do. You're in a session that's currently running. Do you want to rejoin it? No. Let's try a different session. Oh, what? Wait, hang on. They reduced Mara's difficulty to 3. I find that kind of interesting. Because she... Wait, are there no 5 difficulty? Oh, they don't have any 5 difficulty characters now. They had Mara at 4 and Tariq at 5 before, and I think Mako at 5. I think Mara is harder than Tariq to play. Um, if we're still unable to join any queues, I think what I'll do... Oh, connection error, encountered error while matchmaking. All right. Ba 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 ba. I think I'll do a meta prediction, just giving my thoughts based off of what I've seen other people doing, playing, other videos and stuff from private tests and whatnot. Um, I know balance got changed very suddenly with like some things in this release have changed compared to what we saw during the dress rehearsal. So just looking at the change list, I will give some meta predictions. But first we're going to see if I can even get into a game. No. Hmm. I might try like playing Helena or something and just try to get a quick match just to see. Oh, it's queuing. And it's gone. So I'm gonna have to just rely on getting a instant queue, which is probably not very likely. Alarian skins look pretty good. As long as Q, maybe it's fixed. All right, it seems like it might have been fixed. Taking a second to answer some questions here. You want to see the vendors? Oh, did you play at all during the open beta or anything? Because some of this got changed. I like the what they did with the jewel crafting. They added these nice little shelves. We can get some details on some of the jewels, on skulls and goblets and whatnot. Looks very nice. Oh, actually, gems got reworked a little bit. Not reworked, but a lot of the power moved from the earlier levels of gems into the later levels. Oh, we're in! We're in! Gems that are good for Mara right now. I don't think it's well known at the moment. Oh, we don't have a healer. All right. It's not really well known at the moment who the best or what the best gems are. They we're gonna have to take this one slow. I'm kind of. Oh wait, he's here. He's here. Gems are kind of untested at the moment. At first, I thought it was going to be rubies. We're going to be really good for Mara, but amethyst got buffed pretty by a pretty decent margin. And now I think we will see amethyst be the main gem that we use. Um, so which vendors do we visit most often? So there's two, I think. The first is you're going to be visiting the um, the blacksmith pretty often just to upgrade your gear. And then you also have um, one vendor who you can re-roll gear on. Like you can turn some pieces of loot into a random different piece. So that's a good way to kind of gear up and use gear that you might not normally have a use for, you can turn it into something potentially useful. We visit that vendor pretty often, but it does require a resource that is somewhat rare. So yeah, you kind of visit everyone equally, I would say. Oops, that was a dumb one. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna send alt. Ultimate for Mara got a bit of a change. I don't know if you guys read any of the little patch notes that came out, but she got a few pretty substantial changes that make certain builds very strong. You could play in the meantime. You can just play like on an alt. Like maybe if you wanted to play, you know, a tank or something. It is so easy to run out of energy on Mara until you get to your third talent point. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was gonna say, I thought they increased the energy requirement. Thanks. But the change that they did for Mara's ultimate is they made it so that her clones do less damage, but she does get a flat damage buff. Um, she does 20% more damage while her ultimate is active. Her clones do less damage, but they replicate any buffs that Mara had at the time of casting her finisher. So if you have a bunch of buffs, even though your finisher is, your clones are only copying 50% of the damage that, oh, I missed that kick. Only 50% of the damage that it normally would have done, you get so many buff procs off of it that it becomes pretty strong, especially if you're playing the finisher build, which is currently the best build for Mara. So we get our, no, no. I was just about to say we get our first talent. Let's see if we're going to be able to get it back in. All right, looks like the servers are borked again. All right, we got some server announcements. Oh, it just says that the servers are struggling, so they're in the process of getting those resolved. Classic, traveling back to the stronghold. well. Too much heroism, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, looks like we're stuck. All right, I think while we wait for these changes to come through, I'm gonna go and walk through some of the Mara updates and things that have changed since the open beta. Actually, are they all in here? Let me see. All right. Okay, so we're gonna walk through a few of the Mara updates that she got, and really, she's got a handful of changes, but there's also a major system change that affects Mara directly. So that main system change is that bleeds or dots in general for all classes, they no longer snapshot any stat modifiers. So before, Mara would be able to benefit from using her Maiden, which gives a 20% damage buff. That snapshot effect from Maiden is no longer a thing. So that made bleed uh it made bleed builds take a substantial hit. Um so the other thing to compensate though is bleeds, where is it? Hemorrhaging strike. It got a it got a buff. Like about a what is it? Like a 20% damage buff just on the base coefficient for hemorrhaging strike. So basically, they removed snapshotting, but it got moved into her base bleed damage now. So what that means is when you're in your actual maiden window, your bleeds are going to be doing more damage than they were previously. And this should mean that your bleed effects are still about as strong as they were in the past, but you don't have to work as hard to maintain those powerful bleeds. Um, there's also a couple small updates as far as like UI changes go. Uh, the two to note are that Brooding Shadows, which is Mara's stealth ability, this it was already scaling with haste to reduce the cooldown on it. It just didn't show it in the tooltip. There was an update so that it now shows that Brooding Shadows scales with haste. This doesn't change the value of haste at all. Um, it just means that the tooltip now correctly reflects what's happening. You still want about 10% haste. Widow's Bite is the same thing. It now shows that it correctly scales with haste. It was doing this before, but the tooltip was just updated. Um, the other big change is to Mara's ultimate. So we got Matriarch Macabre. This now gives you a 20% base damage buff while the ultimate is active. That means that Hemorrhaging Strike or Hemotoxin is going to be a better button to press during your ultimate. Before it felt really bad to press, but now it doesn't feel quite as bad. The other thing though is the clones during your ultimate, they do only half the amount of your finisher damage. This might seem like a nerf, but they also gain benefits of any damage modifiers you had for your for your clones, I mean. So if you had Deadly Scheme proc, it means that your clones are also guaranteed to critical strike. If you have Malevolence, your clones also gain the benefits of Malevolence. This makes finisher build very strong during ultimate. It's a pretty insane burst of damage. And yeah, overall, the ultimate for Mara got a pretty big change with this. I think it's pretty good to be able to uh, see this flat damage increase play into Hemorrhaging Strike or bleed builds a little bit more. So that solves that issue a little bit. And then obviously the finisher build got a pretty nice change. Very fun change because it's nice to see big chunky numbers. So yeah, the ultimate got a pretty decently sized rework. Let's see some of the other changes. So yeah, dot snapshotting, ultimate updated, hemorrhaging strike. Oh yeah, because hemorrhaging strike got a buff on its base bleed damage, it means that hemotoxin also got a buff. So hemotoxin is going to be doing a little bit more damage now. But let's talk about some of the talent changes because we got a couple reworks, couple adjustments here and there. The first one is something that we've all been asking for a while. Deadly Scheme now has a way to actually track the buff. Every 10 energy that you generate, you gain 1 stack of Deadly Scheme. So that means at 20 stacks, you now get the actual 100% crit chance. And it's easier to just look at a glance at how many stacks you have and just kind of calculate, oh, like I'm 20 energy away from getting my buff. So it helps you plan accordingly. Very nice change to see. Efficient Killer got redesigned. Previously, this would just reduce the cost of your finishers by 10% and increase your maximum energy. It got changed so that anytime you spend a comma point, you just generate energy now per comma point spent. So this is a way for Efficient Killer to now have synergy with Deadly Scheme, whereas before Efficient Killer didn't really scale with anything. It was very weak. So now, at least this way, it actually plays with the rest of the finisher build, especially. Our defensive talent for Veil of Shadow got completely redesigned. It now increases the duration by, I guess not completely redesigned, but it got the duration increased to 8 seconds. Before it was only increasing it to 6 seconds whenever you were using your defensive. And before it gained, or it granted 100% dodge chance. Now it's going to reduce magic damage that you take by an additional 10% while it's active. So there are some bosses in the game with some pretty nasty magic damage effects. So this could potentially see some niche option, or this could be a niche option on some dungeons. We'll have to kind of wait and see what Endless or Eternal looks like though for that. And then Feed the Queen, it got a very small nerf. Feed the Queen is very good for a finisher build. And before it was stacking to 15% per stack. Now it is only stacking to 10% per stack of Feed the Queen. It caps at 6 stacks, so it's going to be a 60% damage buff to your Queen's Fang at max stacks. Um, I think this I don't remember what it was like in the open beta. I could have swore that it was 10% in the past, and then it jumped up to 15, and now it's back down to 10%, but I could be wrong on that. Anyhow, the current iteration of Feed the Queen is at a 10% buff. The other buff or change that was made is for Hemotoxin. This is an update to give Hemotoxin a little bit more AoE damage. It's going to take 70% of your hemorrhaging strikes bleed damage and do that damage to other targets around the primary. Uh, I think this was at 70 originally, then dropped down to 60, and now back up to 70, but I could be wrong on that as well. But with the buffs to hemorrhaging strikes bleed effect, this is going to make hemotoxin a little bit stronger in AoE. So that's good to see. It kind of helps bring hemotoxin up to speed a little bit. It was lacking slightly. Actually, it still is lacking slightly against the finisher build, but hemotoxin and bleeds are looking a little bit better with a few of these changes. What else updated? Let's see. Where's Vexira's? I'm looking for the okay, here we go. So a couple updates to Mara's legendaries. We got the legendary boots, which were dealing poison damage over time anytime you had a finisher critical strike. This was very good for the finisher build because you had really fat critical strikes. So the damage that this was adding was pretty substantial. And even though it got nerfed from 60% down to 40%, it's still the buff that you're gonna, the legendaries that you're most likely gonna be running. However, the other notable change is the legendary cape got a pretty decent buff. It went from 25% expertise up to 32. It's still not as good as the boots, but the cloak is looking a little bit more competitive now. The other thing to know is if you do happen to get the cloak, it bumps up the value of spirit quite a bit to be your third stat priority in almost every build. So it would go crit, expertise, and then spirit up to about 15 to 18, 20%. So you get a little bit more value out of spirit if you get the legendary cloak. And then finally we got a new legendary. This is the actually wait. Is this actually a new legendary? Oh no, it's a trait. Okay. Bup, 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 bup. I thought there was one more thing that I'm looking for. Oh no, this is okay. Yeah, so this other legendary looks like it is increasing or decreasing the cooldown on final stratagem by um a half second per combo point spent. Oh, finally we're in the game. This is going to reduce the cooldown of final stratagem. Currently it's a 3-minute cooldown. This will give you bigger burst windows. I don't really see this being as competitive as either the boots or the back though. This is just kind of more of a utility thing than anything. So this could maybe give you some extra options for better kick management if you use your crowd control effects. Also reduces the cooldown or refreshes the cooldown on maidens. So, like I said, you get extra burst out of Final Stratagem and you can use it a lot more frequently this way. So, I think we have to play around with this legendary a little bit more, but currently I think it's looking like it's going to be a little bit behind. Um, but yeah, I think that's going to wrap up all of the updates that Mara got uh, in the open beta or that's going to wrap up the open beta updates and going into fuck me. That's going to update. That's going to wrap up the updates that Mara got going into the early access release from what we saw in open beta. So if there's anything you want to know about, let me know in the comments down below on what build you might want to play, what kind of stat priorities there might be. But this is Goober Troy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. All right, we got that recorded. That pretty good timing on the servers coming back up. But let's see if quick play is fixed. I don't see any updates on server status or anything like that. Oh no. 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 Oh no. I can't even get wait, oh, did I get it? Oh, I did. Oh, okay, okay. Servers are a little slow right now. The struggle is a little real. Okay, what point? So I get maiden next, so I need to do 2 more before I get access to Venomous Delight. Oh, I got kicked out. Yeah, I wonder how long we're gonna take until we see some more stable servers. Hopefully it is just a server capacity issue and not something else on like matchmaking backend. Because it's easier just to increase server capacity. It's more difficult if there's a bottleneck that's causing issues with queues. Like dropping queues suddenly. Oh, I think one change that happened is we can now buy some outfits from these vendors here. Get some new colors on some of these outfits. Oh dang, they change. Okay. It's a lot of gold. 15k gold? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, oh no, the equipment vendor is not working. Oh, interesting. This is new. They reduce the item level on starting equipment gear down to 15 instead of 30. But that shouldn't really change the options that we follow starting out. At least not too much. I need to give myself a debuff to test. So, level 1 amethyst gives us 10% critical strike chance. I think it was 8 before. 'Cause that heals. So that's just a flat 3% crit. Increases critical strike damage. That used to do 3% more, I think. Or maybe it was 4. Actually, maybe Amethyst didn't get updated as much as I thought. Rubies did get nerfed, though. Oh, I got it. Oh, we got in, but no tank. What the heck? When I type in chat, it says that I have no name. Oh, we got a DPS that left. Okay. All right. Well, that immediately crumbled. I'm gonna grab a snack while waiting for this to load. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, yeah, man. I know. I just now saw your message. Yeah. I think you could probably um cut down on how many quick play you should do. I think you could probably do like 4 or 5 now. Before I think I was recommending like 6 or 7. You just get so much like quick play is so fast, but with the current server status, you're probably even better off just going into contender. Oh no. Probably better off going into contender after you do like 2 quick plays, maybe. Just get your first talent point and start just spamming 2s and 3s or something in contender. Um, I'm trying to post this UI, but in Discord I don't have enough. I don't have Nitro, so I can't post this long ass string. Um, man, I cannot find. Oh, we're in. Oh, just kidding. No. Like one of the comments I saw about this skin, it looks like she should get 2 extra combo points just for having this skin. I think about it now every time I see that skin equipped. Um, I'm not sure if this is correct or not. Um, I like the what is it? I think it's the group wide. Um, actually, let me see. I forget. For pure stats, I think the portal one is really good. Also, there's some undiscovered portal tech, I think, but I think for actual utility, the damage reduction and the heal relics are going to be really good. But in terms of fun, I think the portal could be a solid option. And I personally just kind of like the heal. Yeah. I think that one's just going to be best in slot for like most groups just because damage reduction is very strong, especially as you push up in content. I think you obviously want a couple people with the combat res. Um, actually, is that only tied to healers? No, relics are tied to everyone, right? I'm thinking of weapons. Healer is the one role I've played like none of it. The res is the res is available to everyone, right? It's not like weapons where certain roles get certain relics. I know tanks have the same relics as DPS. I just assumed that healers should as well. If I were to play healer, Sylvie is the one that I would like to learn. She seems pretty cool. I just like the Resto Druid play style, so I think she would resonate with me. She also seems harder than Vigor, so I'd probably be a bad Sylvie. Let's see. Here it is. Okay. I think maybe we have to close down entirely. Uh, Best weapon for Mara is looking like it's gonna be Fated Strike. It was Earthbreaker, but Earthbreaker got nerfed, so now we're on the next best option. I really like playing Fated Strike though because it just makes the finisher build a lot smoother because it gives you extra charges on your stealth, extra charges on Widow's Bite, and it brings down um your cooldown for Maiden down to 45 seconds, so it feels smoother, more reliable, frequent burst. Big fan of Fated Strike. I think Inspired Allegiance is going to be a really strong trait for Fated, along with Martial Initiative. All right, we try to close it down all the way. stress eating, you know? Waiting for these servers to be up playable. Eating my nerd clusters. Ow. Always the debate. I want to check out the dev streams, see what's going on there, if they're actually able to run anything. Actually, where was that even announced? Oh, here it is. Sit in heroes and sit timelines. And they're able to get into some dungeons. I wonder if it's just if you have a full group, it's pretty smooth. I wonder if I can change servers and see if that would help. Assuming we're still not going to quite get in there, but the goal at this point is just to try out different servers. That tech worked during the open beta. Can't get in anywhere. Nope. Alright. Out of desperation, we try Asia. Surely this works, right? No. It keeps defaulting me back to US. I hope I'm not just like stuck in the US. Oh, that one was like a quick turnaround. We're just trying something different. Anything to try to get in. Oh God, that was instantaneously denied. Man, I knew it was gonna be a I knew it was gonna be a rough server or day for the servers, but I was hoping I was gonna be able to get in at least a little bit. They've been streaming for almost 2 hours now, and I got to run 2 quick plays. Let's track the old Steam charts. Hmm. Guess we can't really see here. Oh wait. Yeah, it's not updated. All right. Yeah, I was hoping that this would be a little bit smoother. Hopefully this just means that there's a lot of people playing, but I don't even know if that's the case at the moment. Volume testing like this is unfortunately one of those very difficult things to test for. And in open beta, I know they did some fixes, but I wonder if they just didn't quite have the same level of volume afterwards. Is it 21K? That is pretty good. I thought it was going to be a little bit less than that, honestly. Are you looking at Steam charts right now? Let me see. Oh, Steam. Okay. Steam base. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I bet this weekend it'll get even higher too. So hopefully they fix it before the weekend. I feel I feel bad for the devs in this type of release environment. Oh, I thought for a second there I was actually getting in. They're definitely gonna have some late nights ahead of them. Oh. I wonder what the next hero is going to be like. I know it was alluded to that it's going to be a tank, but I wonder what kind of tank idea they're cooking. I feel like two ideas that would be really cool. One is like a vampire tank, which is more of like a drain tank, where you're just constantly life stealing, kind of like blood DK. And another one would be like a pet based tank where you have like a beast tamer and your pet is like a bear and the bear is the actual tank. Makes me think of like Dota and Lone Druid. A dwarf tank. That could still be. I mean, that's still a lot of things that it could be. Maybe it's gonna be an engineer tank. Give this dwarf a bear as his tank, and then his whole method of healing is, or method of tanking is just to sustain the bear, and the bear has different taunts and stuff like that. Applies different bleeds and whatnot. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool, but I feel like they haven't really designed the game yet for class based, pet based classes. All right, let's see what Hamish has going on.
Okay. Um, yes. Oh, I didn't think of copying and pasting. Are there more tanks and healers in the pipeline? There's more everything in the pipeline. Every real gamer knows this is how early access
Yeah, like
games go. I mean, launching an online game.
a flint. That would be a pretty cool design, like a dual pistol, or even just like a rifle or something. I feel like the common like theme that a lot of games tend to gravitate towards is like dual crossbows, but I think dual pistols is cooler, so I would be more on board with that. I want a more like dedicated battle mage. I know we have like Tariq, who's kind of battle mage esque, but I think it would be um kind of cool if like this battle mage had different elements that they had to like manage, and they were like a melee based caster. Based off of what the devs have said, they take a lot of inspiration from different games, different um different games, different themes and stuff. So probably doesn't hurt to make a suggestion, and that could get things started. Sounds like they'll take anything as a catalyst to come up with a new hero. Anything from art design as the starting focal point to a new kit to a theme, stuff like that. Yeah, it sounds like, or looks like Hamish is also stuck. Mhm. All right, I think what I'll probably end up doing here is just give this another good 5 minutes or so. See if there's either a new announcement or maybe I'll get into the game. But I'll give it about 5 minutes, and if nothing happens before then, I think I might go work on some YouTube videos. In the meantime, I don't want to spend too much time just trying to get into the game. I'd rather just wait for the devs to come back with some fixes before I try again. And then from that point, I'd probably stream later tonight or again tomorrow.
Most of them are signed as well. Your game is bad. Thank you for the feedback.
Of course, not a problem. Yeah, I feel like I've been stuck in this loop for a hot minute now. Alrighty. Yeah, we're hard stuck here, so I think I'm gonna just shut it down for a little bit at least. I'll be back either later today or tomorrow, and hopefully we get some more stability by that point. But I know the developers are working on it. You it's a monumental task ahead of them. So we'll just let them do their thing and hopefully reconnect a little bit later. Yep, I'm gonna hop off. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for chatting. Hopefully we can do this again later tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye bye.